Thank you to Nick for our next speaker, because Nick, you sent your introduction of Patrick to me, so thank you for doing that. And we are honored to have a guest speaker with us today, Patrick Kalonde. So I will introduce Patrick. Patrick Ken Kalande is an international student at St. Cloud State University. He came to the United States to study a Master of Science in Geographical Information Sciences on a Fulbright foreign student program. Congratulations, Patrick, for that. This is a U.S. government exchange program that was initiated by Senator J. William Fulbright to promote improved intercultural relations between people of the United States and other countries through the exchange of persons. Patrick is a Toastmaster from Malawi, as you heard this morning in our introductions. He has benefited from the Toastmasters program. He aspires to become a science communicator, and he joined Toastmasters in September of 2019. He's a member of Eloquent Toastmasters, as we heard today, Eloquent Toastmasters Club in his country. He's pursuing Engaging Humor Pathways Level 5. Wow, you're almost at the end. Yay. Today he will share with us a project titled The Warm Heart of Africa, which is about his country. The objectives of his speech is for him to practice a long, humorous speech. Please welcome Patrick Kalonde, The Warm Heart of Africa. The Warm Heart of Africa, Patrick Kalonde.
Are you able to hear me? Yeah, just wanted to share my screen. Are you able to see my shared screen?
Yep, we can see it, Patrick.
Thank you very much. By show of hands, how many of you know where the warm heart of Africa is? Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and our guests, it seems the warm heart of Africa is not famous. Anyway, that's why I'm here, to present about the warm heart of Africa. You know, the warm heart of Africa is somewhere in a place more similar to Minnesota. It is actually located in Africa Great Lakes region. As you can see, that's where the warm heart of Africa is, Malawi. You know, this is a country that is very beautiful. It has got one of the best freshwater lakes in the world. It is more like heaven on earth. You know, I'm here in the US on a Fulbright program. And I remember one time when I was preparing for interviews for this scholarship, I was quizzed. They asked me, Patrick, you are going to the United States of America. Most Americans are more likely not to know about Malawi. What are you going to share to people of the US about your country, Malawi? It made me to think about what I already know about my country. And I was challenged. You know, I then started thinking about the intentions of Senator William Fulbright, who envisioned of a world where mankind will expand beyond our boundaries, to expand our human wisdom, empathy, and perception towards each other. But also I thought that given a chance, I can make use of my connection, my family with Toastmasters, to interact with people of the United States, to learn from each other, like the way we have learned from Nick on how to stand on the shoulders of giants, lessons from his mentor. I taught them that through Toastmasters, I will be able to learn from others, but also to be a cultural ambassador for my country. And by giving them that reason, they picked me for the scholarship. But I paused when I was giving my response. I remembered of one particular guy who is famous for Malawi. I assume he's not famous here. But this is a guy who harnessed the wind. If maybe you follow Netflix, last year they released a movie, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. This is a young man from Malawi who came out of extreme poverty to develop a windmill to serve his community when we had worse drought in 2002. I remembered about him, about how he overcome his hardships. And I told them that even myself, I have a story to tell. And it is a great pleasure for me to say that even though I'm not on the list, but I myself, I am one of the notable Malawians by being a Toastmaster. You know, by getting this Fulbright scholarship, I marked history in my own family, my village, and my clan. You know, I'm the first member of my family to go to university, and the first one to come here to the United States. So when they told me the story that I've been picked for this particular scholarship to come here to the United States, I remembered my childhood days. You know, growing up in my life, I thought that my whole world is just here, where you can see on the map. That's where I come from. And I remember when I was growing up, all my friends are from there, my childhood crush was from there, and everything else is from that community. And that time when I was young, I remember we used to play football in the streets across our community. And one day we had a match with other kids from another community. It was a very big match. Now, when the game started, the other team scored the first goal. Moments later, they scored a second goal, a third goal, and we worked hard to score in ours. We scored in another one. In the second half of the game, the guys scored additional goals, and we lost 8-2. And at the end of the match, our goalkeeper was telling us, man, I couldn't see the ball. Sometimes I could see fire coming. Sometimes the ball was turning into a lion. Sometimes I could see 6 balls. So another guy asked him, what are you talking about? He said, no, those guys, they were supposed to win. They were using black magic. They were using magic. That's why I couldn't see the ball. So the whole team of mine, we were convinced that indeed the other team was using magic to win the goal. But when I went back home and asked my cousin about his experience with that team, he told me that my friend Patrick, the other team, those guys are well prepared. You know, success is when an opportunity meets someone who is prepared. Your colleagues, your competitors, the other team has been practicing playing football for a while. Every single day, they go for physical training. But your team, you go to play football whenever there's a match. Not surprisingly, that's why you lost the game. I realized from him that success does not come by accident. It comes out of preparation. In life, I realized that one of the reasons why my country, my community is underdeveloped is because of how we think about success. You know, when I was growing up, magic ruled my world. People could say everything, they could blame on someone. So William Kamkwamba, the guy whom I posted, the boy who harnessed the wind, said, before I discovered the wonders of science, magic ruled my world. So do I. You know, in my community, even when someone dies, people will say, he has died? Did you see the uncle? Sometimes he looks as if he was smiling. He's the one who did the magic. So everything, death is explained by magic. Or for example, I've been selected to come here to the United States for studies. In the unlikely case, maybe where I have failed the exams and they have withdrawn me on academic grounds, people will say, maybe it's the aunt, or maybe the neighbor. So we always find someone to carry the blame, not ourselves, which is something which failing to acknowledge responsibility is one of the reasons why we fail to make progress to some extent. It also reminded me of my story when I was young in the same community. You know, there was this particular young girl at my school when I was young. So she was my crush. And I went to my friend to say, man, I want to propose. And my friend said, Patrick, you have got two options. The first option is to go maybe for black magic. She will fall into your charm. The second option is for you to get prepared, Patrick. And I chose the second option to say, I will prepare myself. So I asked him, how can I prepare for success? He said, Patrick, it's simple. For you to win a lady's heart, the words that you're going to speak will influence her decision. So I started writing down words which became sentences. And these sentences turned into paragraphs. And the paragraphs became an essay. I memorized the essay which I could only tell to myself. So I could tell myself, tomorrow I'll talk to her. Tomorrow I will tell her the message. When tomorrow comes, I would say, I will go another tomorrow. And tomorrow became the next week. The next week became a month turned into a year turned into years, till the moment where another guy came. He proposed, he conquered, my heart was broken. I realized that failing to take responsibility, failing to act, is one of the reasons why we fail to make progress in life. Reaching that far, that's my little story that I wanted to share with you back from my country and my community. In case there are questions, I've given a room for you to quiz me with questions about my country. Otherwise, thank you very much for your attention.
Patrick, how did you find out about the Fulbright scholarship and why did you apply for it?
Thank you very much. I found out about Fulbright scholarship from a professor who came to Malawi. You know, when I left college, I was unemployed, just like many other fresh university graduates. So if a professor from here, the US, came to Malawi, and from him, I learned a lot of things. He was mentoring me in my field, in sciences, but also I came to realize that the educational exchange programs goes beyond the actual processes in class. It also entails about people knowing about each other. And I saw Fulbright scholarship as one of the scholarships that was emphasizing much on cultural exchange. People knowing each other, learning from each other, polishing each other. They say a metal sharpen a metal. And realizing that aspect of that scholarship, I said, I think this is something for me. And I applied, I was successful, though I had some doubts on myself. I was the youngest. That time I had challenges in speaking. When I was growing up, I was more like a nerd. I was just somewhere in my cocoon. But when I went to that scholarship, maybe thanks to Toastmaster, I prepared and I was able to convince the panel.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Patrick?
Patrick, I noticed in your email signature, you mentioned about being a drone pilot in Africa.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, what that's like, and what part you played in that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. I am a drone pilot in my country. So in 2017 in my country, we have made history on the continent of Africa. We have established the first humanitarian drone testing corridor where drones are being used to deliver medical supplies, to capture images of critical infrastructure. And that time I had an opportunity to be trained in drone building and flying by Virginia Tech. And since then I've been working in this field, and I became a pilot. I was using drones in identification of mosquito breeding sites. And this year, we have established a drone training school. This is the African Drone and Data Academy. And I had an opportunity to be one of the instructors there. So the future is unmanned. The future is to the sky. So that's all about my life using drones.
How big are these drones that you work with?
For me, I was using small drones.
Okay.
But my colleagues use big delivery drones, big drones, but not military grade drones.
Okay.
Somehow smaller.
Very good.
What was your, oh, go ahead, Anne.
I was just going to ask Patrick, since you're talking about your home country, I noticed what you're wearing is very colorful and it's very unique. Is that indicative of your home country?
Yeah. So, in fact, when I came here to Minnesota, I met a certain lady at Walmart. I wore this shirt and he was saying, "Are you from Uganda?" So I said, "No, I'm not from Uganda," because this is the flag for Uganda, but this is African continent, but it's a flag for Uganda. And I told her that I'm from Malawi, and if maybe you can see, this is our flag. It is black, lady green, the symbol for our country. But this color is also famous in my country.
Well, it's very beautiful, so I'm glad you explained that. I haven't seen a shirt that unique. Go ahead, Helen, sorry.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction when you heard about Toastmasters in public speaking?
When I heard about Toastmaster, I saw someone who was giving a speech somewhere, and the way he was narrating his story, I saw that I myself, I can also tell my story, and I wanted to join Toastmaster. But when I entered into Toastmaster, I was challenged. People challenged me. They said, "Patrick, you have to give a speech. This is an icebreaker." And they said, prepare for a 4 to 6 minute speech. It was a challenging task. Honestly, I never had a challenge to write a speech before. And I went to give my speech, and honestly, the speech was too bad. And one of the Toastmasters for my club came and said, "Patrick, this is just a start." That's where growth starts. You know, feedback here at Toastmaster is the breakfast for champions. Honestly, I was inspired.